What's going on YouTube? Welcome back to Thomas Gallery, and today I'm going to go into a little bit of history. I'm going to call this Halloween Decoded, a Christian holiday. Alright? Let's have some fun. Now, before we get into anything, we got to first start with the origin of the word. Where did the term Halloween even come from? Where and when did it come from? Alright? So, for those who don't know, Halloween is actually a contraction of different words, okay? The term itself, Halloween, is actually three words put into one, okay? It's actually all, I have my notes here, so if you see me looking to the side, I have my notes here, so that's why. It comes from the term All Hallows Even, okay? All Hallows Even. And this is actually a term invented in Scotland in the 18th century in precisely the year 1745. Okay? So in Scotland in 1745, they used a term called All Hallow Even. Okay? Now, over time, that term was shortened. So you take away the all, and then you take away the V in even, so then you have Halloween, Halloween. Okay, that's the term Halloween comes from. All right, now All Hallows. There's different terms. I got All Hallows Even, Halloween, and All Hallows. But All Hallows actually comes before All Hallows Even. All Hallows actually comes from Old English in the year 1556, and that actually meant the Feast of All Saints Day. Okay, All Hallows Day was an Old English term in 1556, and it meant the Feast of All Saints. Okay, so it was really a Christian holiday to celebrate the saints of the Catholic faith. So you have your Saint Mark, your Saint Matthew, your Saint Luke, your Saint John, your Saint Benedict, and all that. All the people here with the saint in front of it. Yes, this holiday was made to celebrate those saints, okay, in the Catholic faith. Now, and also the festivities of this holiday of Halloween, it comes from two main holidays, two main festivals, okay? One is the All Saints Day. It's the Catholic celebrating the Catholic faith, the Catholic saints, and from the Roman Catholic Church, which refers to, it was referred to also then as the Solemnity of All Saints. The Solemnity of All Saints, okay? That's one festival, one celebration. The other celebration is a Celtic festival. And it's called Samhain. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but Samhain. And it was a Gaelic word that meant summer's end, because as you know, Halloween is celebrated in the autumn, the fall, which comes after summer. So that was actually kind of like the Celtic version of the New Year, because summer was ending and autumn was beginning. So you celebrated that season with the festival, Samhain, which meant summer's end, because the summer was actually ending. You were going to fall or autumn, right? Okay. Now, that's just one. That's the origin of the word Halloween. How we got the term Halloween. Okay. So once again, it comes from two main festivals, one Roman Catholic and one Celtic festival. Okay. And the term All Hallows Day meant, the Feast of All Saints, in 1556 AD was an Old English term. Okay, and you have All Hallows, All Hallow Even, All Hallow Even, which is a Scottish term. Okay, in the 1700s, 1745 to be exact. And then you, like you said, you shorten up All Hallows Even, take away the all and scratch out the V and even. You put them all together, you have Halloween, Halloween. Okay, now we're going to talk about the term trick-or-treating. And when I researched this actually via the internet, going to different websites, whether it be Wikipedia or I just typed in origin of Halloween. Okay, and I did this because I got tired of people saying, well, it's a devil worship holiday, and people saying it's worshiping the devil. But I know what these words mean. So I was like, wait a minute. If people keep on saying this is a devil worship holiday, let's look it up and see if it got anything to do with it. If the devil got anything to do with this. Okay? And when I researched this, I was actually surprised about what I found. I knew about some of it, but a lot of this stuff was actually a surprise to me. And all the research that I did, the term devil never popped up. The term Satan or devil worship never popped up. Okay? Alright, so trick-or-treating. Okay? This is actually what I found pretty cool. Alright? From trick-or-treating started in England. Let's get that first. In England, during the medieval times, the Dark Ages and all that stuff. The Dark Ages, Black Plague, medieval times, with the knights and all that stuff. Yeah, medieval times. All the way up to the 1930s AD. Okay, so medieval times up to 1930. People in England during that time, excuse me, they practice listen to me, they practice a Christian custom. Okay? The people in England from medieval times all the way to 1930s practice a Christian custom called souling. S-O-U-L-I-N-G, souling. Alright, now people say, well, what is souling? I never heard of souling before. What is souling? Okay. Souling is when people, and during that time it was very, very religious divide, but this is the time where everybody came together. So you had Protestants and Catholics, which historically had issues with each other, like from Martin Luther and the Protestant Reformation against the Catholic Church and all that stuff, but that's a different topic. Protestants and Catholics will go around to houses of rich people, okay, of the rich, and will knock on the door, and they would beg the rich people for things like food and maybe some coins, but mostly food, maybe a little bit of money at that time, okay? And what would happen is when the rich people gave the people the food or something like that, like cakes, they call them soul cake, give them cakes called soul cakes. And the reason why that is because once they gave the people the food or the money, the people who were being given the items would pray for the souls of the rich and their friends. Okay, so let me set the scene for you. You and your friends, who are probably destitute and poor, will go to the houses of rich people, right? Right? And they would knock on the door. Okay? And the rich people will open the door, and I know you say trick or treat. I'm gonna get to the trick or treat part first. I'm gonna get to the trick or treat, but I'm gonna get to this part first. We knock on the door, and the rich people open the door up, and the rich people will give the people soul cakes, pretty much cake, with food, and sometimes money. And once the rich people gave the people the money or the soul cakes or the food or snacks, whatever, the people who were given the things will pray for them. Like, no, thank you very much. We'll pray for you to get into heaven. You and your friend, because you were so nice to us, we'll pray for you to get into heaven. Okay? It's called souling. So, let's say you want to take that up to now. We'll say, well, what they got to do with us now? Okay. Right. Now, what happens is, from what we know as the modern day trick or treating, didn't start in the United States. Modern day trick or treating started in the year 1895 in Scotland and Ireland. Okay, when people would do what's called guising, or what we call now disguising. It was called guising. Cover up, cover yourself up, cover, a costume, and you will go to people's houses once again, and you would ask for food or some money or something like that. And what happened is, believe it or not, actually where this happened, this is actually was documented in a newspaper in Canada, actually Kingston, Ontario, Canada, in 1911. Okay, but what we call now like modern Halloween started in Scotland and Ireland, and it transferred over to North America, Canada especially. Okay, so they would, and also about the whole pumpkin thing, which we're gonna get into, is that they didn't have a pumpkin and they actually used like a hollowed out. I read this too. It made me laugh, but like a hollowed out turnip. They would hollow it out and put a light in there, a candle in there, and hold it as a lantern. Okay, and they would knock on the door, and the kid is actually, kids were doing this. This was kids doing this. Kids were doing the guys, and the kids would go to dressed up in costume, knock on the door, and hold up a hollowed out turnip with a candle in it, you know, and ask for the candy and all that stuff. So that's how that go. Now, another term, trick or treat. Where did trick or treat come from? Where did the term trick or treat come from? Okay, we hear kids saying it all the time, but we never bother to ask, well, why do they say trick or treat, or trick or treat, how you want to say it, right? Here's a funny thing. When the kids would go to the houses and knock on the door, and the people would open the door, the kids would ask them a question. Okay, and the question was trick or treat. That's actually a question. It's not a statement. It's a question. Do you want trick or treat? Or will you, or like the children were asking the people, the homeowners, trick or treat. And see, back then, trick, T-R-I-C-K, is an old English term. It means threat. Threat. Okay? So when the kids used to say trick or treat, they were actually saying to the homeowners, threat or treat. That means, are you going to give us candy or sweets or money or whatever, or do we have to do something to your house if you try something? So trick or treat actually it was a question, and it word trick, like I said, the word trick meant threat. Is an old English word. It means threat. Okay, threat or treat. Think about that. So every time you go to somebody's house and they knock on the door with the kids got the costumes on, and the people open the door and say, oh, and you tell the kids, what do you say? And the kids say trick or treat. Keep in mind, you're actually asking that homeowner a question, and the question actually means threat or treat. Okay? Think about that. Now, that actually, the whole threat or treat thing, the trick or treat thing, also goes back to, it's actually a term that they use. Is called mumming. That's the old English term they use. Is called mumming. It means the same thing. All right, and mumming is related to souling. Remember I told you about what souling was? When the people would knock on the rich people's homes and beg for the soul cakes and all that stuff. When they knocked on the door, they would say the term mumming, which meant the same thing as trick or treat. And then the homeowners would say, okay, well, we give you some treats or some soul cakes or something like that. All right, that's it all ties in. Okay, so we have mumming, trick or treat, souling, Halloween. Okay, mumming is to trick or treat, as souling is to Halloween. Just so you can make a correlation. Right now, jack-o'-lantern. What is jack-o'-lantern? Here's another cool thing about jack-o'-lantern. Jack-o'-lantern has nothing to do with a pumpkin. Okay? The pumpkin ritual came from, the carving out the turnip thing. Like I said, the kids had a carved out turnip with a candle in it. That turned into pumpkin. But jack-o'-lantern and pumpkin are not the same thing. What is jack-o'-lantern, however? Jack-o'-lantern originally comes from, it's a visual phenomenon, all right? Called, it's a Latin term. It's called ignis fatuus. Ignis, 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 which means like ignite, fire. Okay. Fatuus, fatuus. Okay, and these two words, ignis fatuus, literally means foolish fire. Okay, foolish fire. Now, that term, foolish fire, is also known by another name, will-o'-the-wisp. Will-o'-the-wisp. Or will-o'-the-wisp. If you want to say it fast, will-o'-the-wisp. Okay? What is will-o'-the-wisp? Okay? Let's take the word wisp. W-I-S-P. A wisp is an old English term that is either a bundle of sticks or a bundle of paper that you put together and light and use it as a torch. Okay, so a wisp is technically a bundle of sticks or paper used as a torch, so you can see where you're going. Okay, so in the term jack-o'-lantern actually comes from that same thing. It's jack of the lantern. So jack of the lantern, will of the wisp, same thing. Okay, jack of the lantern, will of the wisp, has nothing to do with a pumpkin. Okay, so let's make a correlation. Jack of the lantern, will of the wisp. Okay, carved out turnip, pumpkin, carved out pumpkin. Okay, all right. Trick or treat, threat or treat. Okay, souling. Okay, souling, Halloween. Right? Soul cake and candy and nut. Candy for kids now. Okay? So that is actually the origin. Now you do have other cultures have things like the Day of the Dead and all that, but the Day of the Dead is not the same as Halloween. Also, something I forgot to mention. You know how we celebrate Halloween on October 31st? Well, the holiday, the two festivals that I was telling you about, the Samhain, they celebrated that November 1st, not October 31st. So technically, let's say today is Sunday, October 30th, so Halloween is October 31st, Monday. So the Gaelic holiday, Samhain, is actually be celebrated on a Tuesday, this coming Tuesday. Okay? So, like I said, other cultures have their own version, but when people use the term Halloween and people dressed up like, costumes and all that stuff and knock on the door with bags for candy and treats and money and all that stuff, there's an actual origin for that. Right? Now, with all that being said, none of that had anything to do with devil worship. Because throughout my life, I always heard people say, "No, I don't celebrate Halloween. I don't celebrate that devil worship and all that stuff. I don't celebrate." No, no, no. Nothing that I read to you or said to you had anything to do with the worship of Satan or the devil. Keep in mind, it's a holiday of Christian origin, the Catholic Christian faith. Okay, Christians made this up. All of all the festivities got something to do with a rich person giving to a poor person, the ending of summer and the beginning of autumn, carved out turnip or pumpkin. None of that had anything to do with devil. No. And from what I read, we haven't read off from the origins of we haven't read off from the origin of the original Halloween since. Like, just the way we celebrate it now is identical to how they celebrated it back then. Only difference is, back then it was the poor going to the rich. Now it was just anybody going to anybody's house. But the celebrations are identical. We haven't changed that since medieval times. Okay? Since medieval times, for 800, 900 years, for 1,000 years at the most, we haven't veered off from the original celebration of that holiday since then. It's a roughly 1,000-year-old holiday that we still celebrate exactly how they did back then. So, and it wasn't until somebody came from Scotland and Ireland all the way to Canada, and the way we celebrate it now is the way they celebrated it back then. And keep in mind, All Saints Day, it was about celebrating the saints, the Catholic saints. Feast of All Saints. Have a feast to celebrate the saints that you admired in the Catholic faith. That's it. That's the origin of Halloween. It's a Christian holiday. That's why I named it Halloween Decoded, a Christian holiday. Okay? So, I think I'm going to be doing this a lot more. I did one about Columbus that seems to be very popular. And I think I'm gonna do a lot more of these with other videos. I'm gonna do a lot more of these also. So, post a comment. Let me know how you feel about it. Check it out. You can look it up yourself. You can just type in origin of Halloween on the internet, and a whole bunch of stuff will come up that you can just look up and find the same information I found. So this is not just hidden knowledge. No, anybody can find this information. Just type in etymology of Halloween. Etymology is the study of the origin of words. Etymology of Halloween, and just look into different sources, and you will find plenty of sources on the origin of Halloween or origin of whatever you're trying to find. Okay. Alright, so that's all I have for now. Hope y'all enjoyed my little miniature lecture or presentation. Alright. Peace.